Good evening, everybody. It's Randy Hilarski here. I have a change of topic tonight. You guys know that here at No Permissions, we talk about wealth and health. And tonight we're looking at the health side of the house. Those of you guys who know me know that I struggled with blood pressure and I had heart failure about 2 years ago. I had heart failure 2 years ago, and now I'm much better. But once you have that issue, you never truly heal. All you can do is manage it and make it better. And that's the kind of situation I'm in. And about a year ago, I came across Coach Greg Hoy over on TikTok, and he took me down the rabbit hole, the rabbit hole of blood pressure. And I was like, man, this guy, he knows something. So I want to start learning about his system and his products that he uses. And I started taking what was called Balance, which is a fiber, and Unimate, which is yerba mate. We all know that down here in South America as a well-known drink. Lionel Messi is famous for drinking yerba mate. So here I am doing that. But Coach Greg, could you give us your background and let us know how you got into doing this?
Yeah. Well, first of all, shout out to you, Randy. We've had an emotional day today. So, folks, if you don't know, I say welcome to Team Crybaby. We cry a lot because life has changed for us. I'll tell you a little bit of my background and who I am and how I got to here. Now, grab your tissue. I'm going to tell you, grab your tissue. Now, there's two ways you get tissue. Either you're going to be throwing it at the screen saying this guy's full of it, or you're going to be saying, oh, my gosh, how do I change my life like these two guys? So, my journey started in 2013. I had a conversation on my phone. My mother was in ICU for about 5 days, and she was dealing with she was in ICU, and I had to go see her. And when I arrived at the hospital, my mother coded and had a heart attack right in front of me. For years, she dealt with diabetes and high blood pressure, but for 22 minutes, they worked on her, and they could not resuscitate her. It was saddening. They broke 7 ribs. I never forget, if anybody's lost a loved one, a parent, to diseases like this, it is awful. I don't wish this on anyone. I'm a former athlete, so I always kind of like Mom, why aren't you getting healthy? Why don't you thug it out? What's the problem? Why are you struggling with your health? And I'll come back to that point. But for the next 10 years, I kind of buried myself in being a girl dad. So shout out, woohoo, all you girl dads out there. I buried myself in being a girl dad and being a father to 2 beautiful children, and buried myself in my business because I thought that that's how I can just kind of mask the pain. And when I masked the pain, I found myself in ICU in 2020. Yep. 2020, I found myself in ICU for 5 days, asking myself, am I going to pass like my mom? At that time in 2020, people were going to the hospital and they weren't coming out. It was saddening. People were actually going in, and I was in the same room, Randy, with the plastic, and I was like, whoa, what's this? And after they stabilized me after 5 days, they gave me all these diagnoses of diverticulosis, fatty liver. I was already dealing with gout for 10 years, diabetes. My A1C was upwards of 8, 9. I just thought that it was just kind of one of the rich man diseases. They said, if you got gout, I'm a sports agent by trade. I actually have 26 guys in NFL. So I kind of thought I really I made it out, right? But I can tell you right now, you can have all the money in the world. You can have all the success in the world, beautiful family. And I like the term no permission. You kind of did it. I didn't have to ask for permission. I did it. But when you're sick, when no one can help you, not your influence, not your money, not your community, nothing get me out of the hospital, man. Nothing get me healthy. So yeah, that's how I kind of got to this bridge in life where I was like, okay, I'm looking for something to get me healthy. Now, like many people on your platform, Randy, they go out and they probably spend a lot of time researching various, cryptos or whatever the space that they're in. They do a lot of research. And I found this guy talking about insulin resistance. And I thought it was like a diabetic term. And then the guy started naming off the diseases: high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, fatty liver, low testosterone. And he's making me really mad now because I've never heard of insulin resistance. And then the guy holds up this packet and goes, you can take this packet, you can take this packet and get rid of all that. And I'm like, oh, man, another guy online trying to sell me something. And I'm pretty sure even in the crypto community, people are saying, oh, another guy trying to give us a tip or something like that, right? So, but I had never heard this term here, insulin resistance. And if you look it up, I'm real right now. If you're listening right now, have you ever heard the term insulin resistance? And if you have, how many of the signs and symptoms are you currently dealing with? That's kind of like a first primer question for those that are watching this on replay or those that are watching it live right now. How many of the signs and symptoms of insulin resistance do you have? Like, diabetes, high blood pressure for women, PCOS, fatty liver, gout, low testosterone, women, menopausal, just hyperinsulinemia. The list goes on, dementia. Like, I was really gassed when the guy started teaching this, and I said, man, what is this guy's doing? What is this? So I watched the guy for 4 months, and I bought it because one of my customers had an aneurysm and passed away from high blood pressure. He had a stroke. And many of you guys that have known me, I'm pretty fond of my athletes, and to see somebody pass away, I mean, from a preventable, I say now preventable disease, it was pretty scathing. Let me just like that. It paralyzed me. I was frozen. I was struck with fear. Oh my God, my blood pressure was super high, 185 or 105 all the time. I was dizzy, lightheaded. So I had to try something. So I found a guy, and I didn't tell my wife. So all you secret agents out there, it's okay. All you guys that don't tell your spouse or don't tell your family, I didn't tell anybody what I was doing. And some of you, and some of you guys, some of the gals and guys out there that are in the community probably don't tell people you're doing crypto. But I didn't tell anybody what I was doing. And in 8 days, my blood pressure went to normal.
Wow.
8 days. It was scary.
But scary good.
Yeah, but I was scared because I was already dealing with renal failure. So my kidneys my GFR was already at 22. So I was like, okay, what's happening now? Because low blood pressure is just as bad as high blood pressure, right? And so my blood pressure dropping that fast, is the medication, what's happening? And then the guy calls me back. He lives in another country. He goes, hey, I live in America. He lives in a different country. And he goes, hey, how you doing? I go, my blood pressure went to normal. He goes, it's working. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, he just said it kind of like tongue in cheek. It's working. I'm like, what the heck you mean it's working? Like, I know it's working, but what's going to happen? And he goes, oh, your body's healing up. Your body's finally dealing with the flexibility. You're finally dealing with just the healing. And I was like, he's like, keep going. So I kept going. And in 85 days, from a 4X to a 2X, my wife started taking the system. Her blood pressure regulated. Her inflammation in her body went away. Her pre-lupus went away. Life got better, man. The sky got skyier. The sex got sexier. The food got foodier. I mean, everything just got better. When you get home and everything feels good and you look good and you're like, okay, I'm good. I'm back. So kind of fast forward about 8 months on the system. I'm no longer diabetic. I'm off of BP pills. I'm off of diabetic meds. My kidneys are coming back. I haven't had a gout flare up. I'm like, woohoo! I'm losing inches on my body. Man, I got my swagger back. That's a term. I really got my swagger back. So then it was kind of unique because the guy who purchased the system, he called me and said, hey, listen, I'm coming to the States, and the owner of the company, Stuart Hughes, he's a billionaire. He wants to meet you. Now, let me pause right there for effect here because I want I've met a lot of millionaires because I'm in sports space. But when somebody said a B, I had to really check. I said, is this really true, a billionaire? And I looked him up. I did my research, Randy. Is this guy a billionaire? He goes, look, he's a billionaire. Oh, crap. Yeah, I mean, so I jumped in my, cleaned my Mercedes up that day, got it all cleaned up because, I'm going to meet a billionaire, right? So you got to have, you look good, you play good, you pay good, right? So I'm like, okay. So I went up and I met him, and we had a great conversation that day, and he talked to me about, helping people out with the system in the States because it was new to the States and it was going to launch here. Would I be interested in helping educate people on why, the silent assassin of blood pressures is attacking our family with strokes and heart attacks. And I thought about my mom. I thought about Joyce Yvonne Hoyt. I said, man, if I had this product, Randy, I could have saved her life, man. And took out my MX, signed up to get a license, and it was declined. My wife, we get that alert on her phone. My wife got an alert on her phone. She said, oh, this is fraud. It's fraud. And I was like, this is not fraud. I had to call my wife. What are you doing? She's like, oh, I thought it was fraud. And I go, oh, it's not fraud. I'm signed up to get a license to sell this system. She goes,
my wife would do the same thing.
Oh, okay. Your wife would do the same thing?
She would do the same thing.
Oh, but I was so embarrassed, Randy. I mean, I was embarrassed because here I am, I'm puffed up. I'm feeling good. And then he's like, your card was declined. This is the billionaire. And he's kind of looking at me, like, this guy is full of crap or what? And so finally we got it all worked out, and I got the license. And man, I just began to help people. And then I went live 100 days straight, 3 times a day on TikTok. I taught Unimate in the morning, balance at lunch, and then how to take it in the evening time. And I went. If you ever seen the Zig Ziglar video of pumping the whale, I mean, I was pumping, brother. I was pumping. I was signing up 60 people, 70 people, 80 people, 100 people, 400 people, 1,000 people, 2,000 people, and people were just getting healthy. And then I just began, and those that kind of know me on social media, I got my big account of 566,000 followers, and then TikTok did some changes. It's okay, hey, I learned now. It hurt though when I lost my account because they were doing some changes and viewers and people's content, whatever. But hey, listen, I pivot and I started building off TikTok, and I started building other platforms, but I still had all these testimonies. I had all these people that were healthy, Randy, and I showed how the blood pressure, how hard it worked pushing against your pipes, your arteries, and people were like, oh. And I use the analogy of like a kitchen sink, and your top number was squeezing, your bottom number is resting. I mean, I started teaching this, and people just started saying, oh, and I started making it really practical, like a third grader, and doing visuals, and you showing how to balance helps you protect from the modern day food environment and get your ego out of it. And stop thinking you can beat the food system. You can't. They're bigger than you. They're faster than you. They're stronger than you. You can't. And people argue with me. People had pain. People didn't see they didn't see light in the tunnel, but I just kept screaming. And slowly but surely, I started amassing an amazing large group around the world. People were getting healthy, regulating their blood pressure numbers. Their numbers were, instead of creeping up, they were creeping back down to the regular normal areas. Friends and family were paying attention to people that were losing inches. And people's stress levels decreased. I know I was a big effect on the energy drink companies because they were mad because people were now drinking Unimate instead of drinking Red Bull and 5 Hour Energies, and and people now got there it is right there, and then people started actually getting outside. They stopped sitting down on their bum and start walking and doing things outside. And then the company started flying me around the world. I was like, what is this? I've never been in anything like this before, Randy. I've been kind of a guy that kind of got it off my own shoulders. I'm a guy who had a newspaper route when I was young. I would get up in the morning and deliver newspapers.
6 a.m., baby, 6 a.m.
Yeah, 6 a.m. And so I always kind of felt like if it was to be, it was up to me. And I would cut grass to go take girls on dates. I would do certain, I just feel like there's no excuse for people not to make a living. Like, there's so many things you can do. And so I saw this as an opportunity to help people. And it really worked. Like it wasn't like I was like, trying to shag people. I was really I was really helping people, and they were coming back to the community and saying, oh my gosh. And they would look different, feel different. Kind of similar to your space where people are, they maybe don't feel the pain creeping up on them of hypertension. Maybe they don't see the symptoms. Some people just sit around and they make gobs and gobs of revenue from crypto. But they're totally unaware that silent assassin has no symptoms and no warnings until a stroke or a heart attack literally taps you on the shoulder.
Yeah, then that was my situation, right?
Yeah, that was your situation.
Yeah, I was, I was doing fine. I've always had issues with blood pressure, but even when I was in the Navy, I remember Dr. Peterline. I did my 4-year physical. It was probably 1996 or so, 95, 96, and he's like, young man, Dr. Peterline was probably in the 70s at the time. He's like, young man, you're going to have issues with blood pressure when you're older. In my 20s, I played volleyball every day. I was an athlete. I'm like, well, okay, whatever. Well, yeah, that's what caused my heart failure 2 years ago, right?
Wow.
I had the same thing like you. Oh, hold on, Coach. I also it started off with my GFR going low. That was the first thing I had to combat was my kidney failure. And I fixed that. But with supplementation. That's why I did dandelion root and a whole bunch of other things. Yeah. But I didn't fix the underlying issue, which is insulin resistance.
Yeah. That is you got to deal with. And so many people, for those that are listening, when we start talking about the underlying root cause of hypertension, I call it dealing with the spider. A lot of people deal with the cobwebs. So just imagine walking into an attic or basement and you haven't been down there for years, and all of a sudden you're like batting cobwebs and that's kind of how the pills, the BP pills are assigned. They just deal with the cobwebs. But you got to find the spider, and now we know how to deal with the spider of hypertension. I go even a deep dive for those that haven't had an IV in their arm. I get into hypervolemia. If you go look up at the 6 traits of hypervolemia, the number 1 is rapid weight gain, and then you get edema, and then you start having hormonal problems, aches and pains in your body. if your body is full of, your fluid volume is high because your cells are resistant, Randy, well, guess what? You get hypervolemic, raise your fluid volume up, which raises your BP up, raise your blood pressure up. And the sixth thing is, of course, hypertension. And then the seventh thing is heart failure, congestive heart failure. Because literally the fluid volume is working so hard to push that fluid volume around. But if you had an IV, they take their time and put that that fluid in you so your cells can open up inside your arteries and take in the medication that's inside that saline bag. So we use the same principle with our esophagus on the system. It's no pain. It's easy. It's literally like a slow leak now. Food enter into your digestive system. Now your cells open up and start taking in the protein, the nutrients, and vitamins. I mean, Randy's story is amazing, folks. If you heard Randy's story, he's gotten his health kind of weight under control. He's working on his BP. He's seen it even not only with himself, but also in his family, in his community. And everybody's dealing with stress right now. Those that are out watching this right now, late nights, trying to find the next, and you got energy drinks next to you. You sit at a stream. Maybe you're watching on social media, and you're trying to figure out, like, how do I make this work for my family, right? All you guys out there, all you men, all you alpha men, right? You're trying to figure it out. And then all you ladies, you alpha ladies, woohoo! You like, you know what I mean? I'm an assassin. I'm women out there. I'm an alpha female. Yes, you are. But so is blood pressure. I don't care. I just posted a video today about a bunch of hyenas attacking a lioness. And you can see the hyenas come out of nowhere. They're just kicking the lioness's butt. And then all of a sudden the pride comes. And boy, oh boy, we are the pride. We're the pride now. We're coming now with this new a way of life that's a lifestyle that's going to be easy for people to enjoy. Literally, keep it in your back pocket. Keep it in your wallet. Keep it in your purse. It's safe for children as well as lactating mothers. Kids can keep it in their backpacks, and just add some additional things. You're going to cut back on all of the salty, snacky. You can still have it, but body's going to be satiated. Those bad sleepless nights, those things are going to pass now.
Yeah, Coach. That's one thing I've noticed ever since I started using these products about a year ago is that I'm not up using the restroom 5-6 times a night. I can go the whole night without having to go pee. And those of us who have suffered from kidney issues in the past know that when you have insulin sensitivity, you're up 5-6 times a night because your cortisol level's higher, right?
Yeah.
And I was a victim of that. I dealt with that for years. Not anymore. Now I sleep like a baby. Yeah.
I came back from Vegas last night, and saying that to kind of piggyback on what you're saying is that I got in at 9:50. Did a couple things around the house, and then I went to bed right about 10:15, and I wake up to 5:15 the next morning, and I was like, wow. I mean, if you're here today, go ahead and type. Do you want a full night of rest? Yes or no? Oh, no. Let's type in the chat sleep. Type in the chat sleep. If you want a full night of rest without waking up, no interruptions, type in sleep in the chat. Well, I want to see, because that's like how much is that worth? Let's put a value on that, Randy.
Yeah, for me, it was ridiculous. I used to wake up with these bags under my eyes, feeling like crap. Didn't really wake up till 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Then I had to take a nap in the afternoon because I wasn't getting any real quality sleep at night. It's worth a bundle, right? Yeah, I love it.
I mean, if we put it in, can we talk about crypto and a cryptocurrency? How much is sleep worth? if we were to put a dollar value on crypto on sleep,
let's make a sleep meme coin. See how it goes. Who wants some sleep?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure probably it would take off and we probably do pretty well on that, right?
That's funny.
Yeah. So a couple of things I just want to kind of make sure all our listeners know is you need to have a blood pressure cuff. Okay. Especially you big guys, don't be afraid to go on Amazon and just order it, have it delivered to the house. Ladies, get yourself a blood pressure. It doesn't, like, blood pressure does not discriminate. It doesn't. Okay. I know you may be up late at night, sitting at your desk, and you may be sitting there with a cup of coffee or espresso. You're sitting in front of the screen, and maybe you're working or you're designing or you're trading. I mean, that's a recipe for high blood pressure. So keep yourself a blood pressure cuff around close near your desk, especially those that are in the space of your space with crypto. High stress, high adrenaline swings. It directly raises your BP. It actually constricts and expands your arteries because your heartbeat is pumping. Yep. So second thing I would say is get you some omega-3. You need to bring the buoyancy back in those arteries. Okay. Randy has a link he can put up for the Unicity omega-3. He can make it available for all you guys. Like I don't care if you don't know me. You got to get some omega-3. You got to bring that buoyancy back in those arteries, just because they wear out because of the adrenaline swings. So I really encourage anybody listening here that is dealing with high stress, late nights, just grab that. Those two things, two little hacks, simple hacks that I can say you can do. Of course, we always talk about move around and stuff like that. You can do that, but that.
Yeah, I'm always bouncing my legs. That's my thing.
Oh yeah.
Always a bouncer. Get that soleus muscle going in your calf. It burns off a lot of those extra calories. So that's just a little tip for those of you guys when you eat. And people are like, "Oh, you got nervous energy." No, man, I'm burning energy right now.
Yeah.
I'm going for a walk without going for a walk.
Yeah. And here's a bonus hack. Your calf muscles hold a lot of glucose. They can really help with those that are dealing with diabetes or high glucose numbers. So walk on your tippy toes, do some calf raises off the curb, or if you got yourself a little weight, like really work your calves out. I know that might be like, what? But your calves, that muscle can just draw a lot of that glucose out of your bloodstream into those calf muscles. So that's maybe why Randy's bouncing those calves, his feet up under the table, because he's working those calves. But that's something you can really do as a bonus for those that are dealing with some high A1C numbers. But for BP, document, like you guys that are out there in the crypto space, you're doing the research, like write your numbers down. Okay. Randy,
Clip
make that. What's that?
Clip it.
Yeah, clip it. and then we have Randy and I have an app, a fasting app that can help you with that. Randy will make that app available for the audience here. Grab the app. You can go to nebula.unicity.com. That's nebula.unicity.com, and you can download that app, and it can help you with some different things. You can monitor, put your blood pressure in there, and see how it maps out. I'm a guy who likes to chart, Randy, so I'm constantly using AI to chart. And so I'm charting my blood pressure. I'm charting my back office. I'm charting, my partners. I'm charting, loss. My wife was like, "Why you got so many?" Because I love to see. I believe in receipts, right? I mean, receipts are receipts. They can't. Men lie, women lie, but the numbers don't.
There you go.
Yeah.
Once again, clip it.
Yeah. Clip it. There you go. That's the word. Clip it.
I got a story for everyone about the system. We took my son in about 2 months ago now to his pediatrician, Dr. Hart, and the second, he's the one that delivered Max, right? So the second we get to the office, Dr. Hart's like, "Randy, Max is showing signs of insulin resistance, or that he has pre-diabetes." I'm like, "Really?" I mean, I'm a nurse, but I didn't really notice it. To me, I knew he was overweight, but I didn't think that he was insulin resistant yet. But he was starting to grow a little hump on the back of his neck, and he had the bags under his eyes, and the doctor noticed it right away.
Sure.
So we went and got his blood work done. First time he's ever had a needle in his life. First time. I felt so terrible. But his blood work came back, and his A1C was at 6.2, which for a child, that's really high, right? You should never be above 5.7. And for anybody, that's even adults, 5.7. But we started using the Balance, which is the fiber product, which I've been using for over a year. And we give half a packet before he eats his breakfast in the morning. We've been doing that now for about, I'd say, three weeks or so. Okay. We put him on a glucose monitor, a continuous glucose monitor. Another sticking him with a needle again. It was hard for me to convince him to get that done. So he's wearing that for 2 weeks. Cost $80 for 2 weeks. And his A1C is down to 5.1. Wow. And I was like, praise God. I mean, I was so stressed about the whole pre-diabetes thing for my son. I felt so guilty because, we as parents were, we kind of let our kids get away with murder when it comes to food and stuff. Now I had to be the bad dad. Oh, you can't have that cookie. You can't have those French fries or those chicken nuggets.
Sure.
And here we are, and now he's great. Doesn't mean his diet's going to change. He's still going to have to drink the Balance every morning, but here we are. And wonderful news.
Wow. Let me kind of come back to that here, because most people might not know what that means. And when you talked about your A1C, hemoglobin level, let's kind of break that down just a little bit, because folks, you may have nephews, nieces, you may have even a neighbor who may be talking about that. Break that down, that hemoglobin A1C number.
Sure. So A1C is based on I think it's your last 3 months. It's an average of the amount of glucose that your red blood cells are carrying.
Yeah.
And anything over 5.7 is considered on the edge of type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
And now diabetics will often be 11, 12, 13, right?
Yeah.
But if your body is starting to show insulin resistance, you're going to be 5.7 or above. That's the line in the sand where they say, oh, you're pre-diabetic. The last time I had mine checked, which was about 6 months ago now, I was at 5.8. But I bet you, because I've been doing so much fasting and using these products, I bet you that now I'm probably closer to 5.3, 5.4. But I started at 6.2. Here we are. So I'm no longer on the fence. I think I'm well within range now.
Yeah. And people don't understand, like if you lost your eyesight because of diabetes, who would suffer? I always say that.
Yeah. Or lose a foot. You know, there's so many things that happen with diabetes. It's serious stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's important to get to know your numbers. And I just challenge your audience. I see a lot of your audience there listening. Do you know your A1C? Type in, if you do know it, type in yes, and then put what your A1C number is for us in the chat. Okay. Go ahead and give us a little bit of feedback. If you know what your A1C number is, drop that in the chat if you're watching right now. Now, my A1C went down from almost a 9 to a 5.2. And I've been doing these two, what I call Batman and Robin, easy breezy, for over 60 months now. I've lost 98 pounds. No dieting, no shake. I still smoke cigars. I still enjoy alcohol. I haven't died in one day. And now I've helped thousands do the same. My GFR was a 22. Anybody know about that? Now it's a 66. I'm off of BP meds. I'm literally living. I have more days in my months, more months in my years, and more years in my life now. I just climb Mount Fuji. I backpack in Russia. I travel. I swim with sharks in Phuket. I walk through the jungles of Vietnam, all because this simple system has helped me help people. Now, I never had a passport until I came into this business. I thought I was on top of the hill. I was walking NFL sidelines, making lots of money around, at the baddest clubs, around the nicest cars. But it's nothing compared to the global audience, that people that are looking for something to help them with A1C and hypertension.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Give me some numbers on hypertension.
Okay, so let's talk about numbers. New York, okay, for those that are here in the States. 4.9 million people right now are taking blood pressure medicine in New York.
And that's the city or the state?
City.
Holy crap.
In the city. So let's go a little smaller. Let's go Plano, Texas. Okay, Plano, Texas has a population of almost about 385,000. They already have 100,000 people taking blood pressure medicine.
That's so sad.
Like this is documented. You can go to City Health dashboard. City Health. Type that into Google. City Health dashboard. You can type in any of your cities. Look at the numbers. Okay, and you can literally see the grotesque numbers of 1.6 billion people on the planet taking blood pressure medicine, and everyone is dealing with the cobwebs instead of us right now. We're dealing with the spider, and we sniff it out. And I saw one of your listeners talk about statins, and the dynamic duo of hypertension and high cholesterol. They work hand in hand. When your arteries expand because the blood pressure expands, it cracks your arteries. Cholesterol comes in and tries to put a wax over that crack. And as your arteries expand and contract because you're dealing with adrenaline, stress, cortisone raise, energy drink, constantly expanding, contracting, your body's producing more cholesterol because your arteries are becoming more and more cracked. So if statins works like an HDL trying to take away that stickiness, you need to, first of all, regulate your blood pressure. Then get you some omega-3 to bring the buoyancy back and actually have those cells repair in your arteries so you won't wind up having anything like a stress heart attack. So
I just started taking a rosuvastatin about 3 or 4 months ago. I never took a statin before. I wouldn't take them because I didn't want anything that crossed the blood-brain barrier.
Yep.
But I watched Dr. Levine. He's on TikTok.
Yes.
And he does say the only one I recommend is rosuvastatin. So I started taking that one, and I haven't had my blood work done again. Like the last time I checked, my A1C was 5.8. I was taking it mostly because of my triglycerides were pretty high. So I want to see what that's going to be. I'll do my blood work here probably again in another 2 months or so, but I'm expecting it to drop. It's just that I do understand that cholesterol is super important. It's one of the, your body uses it for everything, for repairs, making your hormones. It's super important.
Sure it is. It is. So yeah. So, get your numbers checked, not next week. Get them checked as soon as possible. Today, this week, go to one of your local Walgreens or your pharmacies or whoever you are. Get your blood pressure checked. Know your numbers, and then get back on the Feel Great system. 2 simple products. One is the Unimate tea. Messier's drinking that, and then the Balance. Just 2 products. One you take before your meal. One you just take in the morning when you get up. And you
taught me a tip too. You taught me something pretty interesting because I am a person that fasts a lot, right? So in the morning I have to take my blood pressure medications. I do, I still take my blood pressure meds. I had heart failure, so it's pretty serious for me.
Yeah.
So you recommended that I take my meds with the Balance, which is the fiber drink.
Yeah. And just let everybody know here. I keep hearing Randy say that, but I'm his guy, so I'm his teammate now. Like when you try to equate Balance to a simple fiber, it's like comparing a 1981 Toyota Celica to a bullet train in China. Okay, it's not the same. It's not just fiber. This is 7 different fibers from around the world that also have polyphenols in it, and it helps the body and creates a barrier between you and the modern day food, as well as those pills. So we know if the pills are going to cause you to have insulin spikes because your body's like in shock, like, oh my gosh, what's this? If you can take the Balance before you take those pills, and I say pills because I know social media doesn't like to say the other word, so I say pills. Okay, but you guys get the gist of that. Okay, so but when you take that, it's actually going to create a barrier to create that IV with that Polaris drip effect. For those that are in the medical industry, you want that drip system with the medication. You don't want it to enter into your systems too fast. So that's why Coach Randy take the Balance before you take any of your pills, because now it's going to work like a leaky faucet, and it's going to drip those meds, into your digestive system. Your cells open up and start taking them in, lessening the impact. So that's what I was talking to you about, Randy.
Yeah, it's working great. I mean, I've been doing it now for about a week and a half, and it's definitely leveled out how I feel. So yeah, I will be definitely teaching this to everyone who's using the system and who is taking regular medications. I know a lot of people haven't been able to get off of blood pressure medications like yourself. I'm just not at that point yet.
Well, every body is different. Let me just repeat that for the people in the back, Randy. Every body is different. So if we understand the body is different, some people are going to address certain things earlier. Maybe I have so many people that have gotten off of pills because it addressed what had to be addressed first. Some people had to address their heart issues first. Some people had to address the inflammation first, the sciaticas first, and then they adjusted their BP. Or some people went right to their glucose levels first. It just all depends on what your body is like. Temperament needs to work on first. It's kind of like if I get hit with 2,000 blades, which cut do I address first?
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to address the one that's closest to making you lose your life.
Yeah.
And so that's how it works. It begins to heal up like that.
Yeah, and that's what insulin resistance is exactly like. It's like 2,000 different blades because it affects everything, and it causes all kinds of inflammation and problems around our bodies. And it just in different people, it comes up in different ways.
Yep. Yeah. And so I mean, I just really want to just encourage people, don't ignore it. Okay. Hopefully we gave you a little bit of visuals on what blood pressure is and how it presses against the walls and expands and contracts and causes you to have that, those expansion and contraction of your arteries. Don't ignore this. And look, this audience that you have, it's specifically important because you guys are doing something that's remarkable. So let's not lose this momentum with your health. Say it like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Health. Hey, look, guys, I'm transferring a lot of my time from the wealth side of the house to the health side of the house. We're getting older. All of us want to extend our lives a little bit and have healthier lives. And maybe not the last 10 years being, an invalid in a wheelchair, right? Maybe we want to be up and be able to walk around, then just die in our sleep like that. That's where that's what we're looking forward to. And that's what I want to help people get to.
Yep. Awesome, man. Just check your numbers, everybody. This is kind of my call to action. Check your numbers, check your numbers, check your numbers. Know what your numbers are. Please, you mean a lot to me. I say welcome to Team Crybaby. Randy's already experienced that.
I was balling out early. I tried to tell my story in front of all these nurses and doctors. We had a medical meeting earlier, and oh man, I lost it. I admit it.
Yeah, but they're not necessarily sadness. They're an emotional reckoning that I finally have this freedom.
Right.
I finally have the importance of, you talk about your son and you're going to be able to, you can see yourself 10 years, 15 years, hanging out with him. Maximus, hey, how you doing, man?
Yeah.
Hey, Dad.
Instead of the day when I found out that my heart was in big trouble and coming out, bawling my eyes out because I didn't know if I was going to be there tomorrow. Yeah. Instead, I'm like, okay, I think I found the right path. There's these different things I'm doing in my life are leading me to possibly be around for another 20 years, maybe 30 years,
And giving Maximus the system that he has a chance now to enjoy his childhood, going into middle school, going into high school without this. I mean, kids are going to school now and taking insulin at school.
Yeah, or they're wearing those insulin drip, the needle in the side. It's really sad. Really sad. I dread that. I don't want him to have that.
Yeah, I mean, think about the bullying. Think about the mental health of a child that has to go and go to the nurse's office and take a insulin shot, or they can't go to school because they're darn near in a diabetic coma.
Yeah, it's very sad. I would not want that for my kid. But I know I've had friends that did in high school that were on insulin. They're type 1 diabetics, so they had it their whole lives.
Yeah.
And I remember the struggle that they had for other athletes like me, but they always had to wear this little insulin pump.
Yeah.
Ugh, poor guys.
Yeah.
But Coach, I think I think we're good tonight.
Awesome.
I just want to remind everyone, if you guys are interested in the products, down below you can click the link to go to the Feel Great system. And as well, we'll be doing this often. Every Wednesday or every Tuesday night, we have the doctor's call or the medical call like we had earlier tonight. That was, like I said, that was a tearjerker. But I will be live streaming 4 nights a week now, Monday through Thursday at this time, and discussing not just crypto, but also health-related information, and having people like Coach on. Coach, I'm sure he's going to be on regularly. And if you want to take it out, go right ahead, Coach.
No, I just bring it all back. I mean, if you want help to bridge the gap to where you are, to where you want to be, we can help you. If you have lack of energy, mental fog, if you're dealing with low testosterone, women, if you're dealing with PCOS issues, we'll give you receipts. We'll show you testimony after testimony after testimony after testimony. Let me say it 3 more times. After testimony after testimony after testimony. We don't make this up. We're going to show you that it works. I do encourage you to what I call run to play. Get yourself healthy, and then get your family healthy, and then get your community healthy, and then join our mission to help 40,000 back to health. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night, same time. Cheers.
Cheers.